right? I think like strict textualism is a silly way of looking at the Constitution. I think it's like completely made up. I will never be convinced that this is a real, genuine, legal, scholarly school of thought. I don't believe it. But liberals do. So they play the song and dance. So then you have to act like maybe it is real. You know what I mean? You learn about it in school and stuff. So it is still entirely dependent on how much liberals personally believe is real. And I don't think liberals would have been like, oh, the vote certification process decided that Trump is still president. Like, liberals hate Trump. They would never. They would have been like, absolutely not.
All right, breaking news. We now have the details of that spending deal reached on Capitol.
Here's another fake, nonsensical bullshit thing that we have to play song and dances over every goddamn month, every goddamn couple of months or so. The spending bills. How will we budget the government, dude? Another fake thing. But liberals think it's real, so we act like it is real.
Capitol Hill, back with us now. NBC's Julia Jester from Capitol Hill. Walk us through what we know, Julia.
We just received Speaker Johnson's Dear Colleague letter, which gives us more details on this top-line spending agreement. The big, important number is $1.59 trillion. That is the top line for spending in fiscal year 2024, which allots $886 billion for defense and $704 billion in non-defense spending. Now, Speaker Johnson is touting $16 billion in spending cuts to offset discretionary spending levels, and he highlights two key concessions made by Democrats. The first is cutting an additional $10 billion in IRS funding, as well as $6 billion in COVID-era funds.
That's my favorite. Cutting IRS funding to fix the deficit is my favorite, because like every dollar that you spend on the IRS returns more dollars to the coffers. That's kind of the whole point of the IRS. That's how the deficit works in general. That's the entire purpose of the IRS, is to take money out of the circulation. It's so dumb. It's like, here, let me blast you with this new cancer gun to fix your cancer. Here, now you have ass cancer. It's a new type of cancer,
which the White House strongly opposed. So he's touting these as wins for Republicans, but that doesn't mean that this is a done deal. My colleague Ali Vitale, as you've seen today, is on the campaign trail, and Chip Roy said that he doesn't like what he's hearing regarding these top line numbers. So we're already getting a little bit of Republican opposition, but now that this top line is set, that is good news for progress to avoid this government shutdown at the January 19th deadline.
Once VP kicks it back to the states, the fraud electors get brought in, and 1/3 of the Americans who believe Trump's fraud electors are the real ones. So Trump declares the military seizing of power to prevent the Dems from stealing the election again. Military chief officer who would have gladly sided with Trump at that time, not the present day per se, and helped him complete his coup. Yeah, no, dude, you are. This is Lebanon, in my opinion. And no, I don't mean like Beirut. I mean Lib-Anon. No. If that was the case, Donald Trump's like relentless, the election was stolen from me, arguments would have been infinitely more successful in the minds of the American voter population, and not necessarily the exact opposite effect, where it like really grossed out a bunch of Republicans and caused them to not vote.
Appropriations Committee can get to work negotiating these details, and it really is just a first critical step to avoid a shutdown ahead of January 19th. Now, as you may remember, back in November, Congress passed that tiered CR, which funded the government partially to January 19th and then the rest through February 2nd. And so this is great news, but we will see in the days to come, as all of the members of Congress flood back to D.C., how this lands with both Republicans and Democrats, because it's going to need to get the support of both.
The IRS is super effed up right now. They said the company I work for overpaid payroll taxes and sent us a check for 4.1 million, then another one for 500K. Wait, was it wrong that they did that?
The new court documents released in relation to.
Oh, this is the good one. This is the final bombshell, the recent one. The recent bombshell